Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm sharing my screen now, and so if we all have a Jupyter notebook on our system, I think that's a good for us. But for me, I'll be using the Google Colab, but still same thing, right? So still work with same syntax, right? So I think I shared a data set to the group. So we'll be working on that while putting into practice what we've learned last week, probably before now. So we're able to walk through data science uh, and it is the data, right? And also how to carry out some basic data cleaning, like some of the features, right? So it's just we putting this stuff into practice. Like I said, we'll be doing a two-way kind of learning. So both the theory and the practical side of it, right, together. So that's what we'll be doing, right? So we'll be shuffling the boat as we go on. Are we together? So if we take our time to check the data set, which I shared with us, the people data set, uh, okay, I think, let me just open that up here. So see how the data set looks like. This is how the data looks like here. Where we have our first name, we have last name, we have our gender, we have date of birth, right? We have our age, we have country, we have state, and also occupation and annual income. So this is just a small and a simple synthetic data, which is actually looking rough and dirty, right? So just we working through data cleaning side of it using our Python to do this, right? So we can launch our Jupyter notebook if we do. For those of us using Google Colab, okay, we are fine on same page. I close this guy here, right? So one thing with Python is this. Python is an IDE programming language, independent development environment, right? So Python is a programming language that helps us to uh, carry out some programming functions, right? So we have different IDEs that support this Python programming language, like our VS Code, Jupyter Notebook, our Google Colab, right? They are all independent development environments, whereby you can use to write your scripts, your Python scripts, and the likes. So we'll be using either Jupyter Notebook, the VS Code, or Google Colab, any of your choice. But our syntax still remains the same, sir. You can use VS Code. Yeah, you can use VS Code as well. You can use Jupyter Notebook. You can use what's it called, Google Colab. So I prefer to use Google Colab because all my things are all stored and saved in the cloud, right? So without wasting much of our time, uh, we'll be working through the concept of data cleaning. So we'll be cleaning up this data, which I just shared with us using Python programming language. Yeah, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but when we're working with a Python programming language, you have different libraries. I think I made mention of the libraries last week, right? I think I made mention of the libraries last week, right? You said? Yeah, we'll talk about the SQL, we'll talk about for visualization, right? We also talk about standard and non-price, right? So these are, I'll say, some of the core Python libraries which will be used for now. We also have much more that we tend to work with as time goes on. Right? So we say our pandas is used for what? Yes, then our NumPy is used for numerical computation, right? Then Seaborn and Matplotlib are used for visual. Matplotlib for static, while Seaborn for interactive dashboard visual, right? That's awesome. So today now we'll be working with two, since we'll be doing data cleaning. So we're working with just two libraries, the pandas library and also NumPy library, right? Okay, so we start by what? Importing these libraries. So let's say we want to work with pandas library, we want to carry out some analysis, some manipulation, right? So we start by import. Import here is a reserve word, right? So I see it's being flagged with a different color. It's only purple, right? Okay, not really showing too well on the screen here. So we import pandas, right? So now we're importing pandas as what? As PD, right? So you can choose to import it as any name of your choice. As let's say we're importing pandas as PD. Yeah. So what we are trying to do here is this, right? We are saying pandas, we're nicknaming you, we're giving you another name, right? We're giving you another name called PD. So PD is not a default name for pandas. It's just a default nickname that everybody tends to use. Just like CR7. Whenever you know, if you talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, you can say CR7. Just to abbreviate, something we can retain and we can recall at ease, right? So you can choose to use any name. You can choose to call it pandas. You can choose to say import pandas as a fan. So whenever you want to call on pandas, you just need to what? Type fan. So now wherever I want to call on pandas, all we need to do is what? PD, right? Awesome. So now we're importing pandas as PD. So I can choose to execute, right? I'll allow this to execute. So wait for it to load. See, mine is loading up there. They take in a little, yeah. So now it has been executed, right? So the next thing we now need to do is what? We import our pandas, right? So now we can now go ahead to do whatever we want to do, the analysis, the manipulation, anything we want to do, right? So what we've done here is this. Now we've tell Python that, okay, I want to work with pandas. Okay, whatever I want to do, that has to do with data analysis, that has to do with data manipulation, right? Pandas should handle it for me. Now like this, now we've employed pandas to be in charge of all of this, right? Then the next thing we need to do is what? We need to import this data set that we want to work with. So we now need to import this data set. Sorry, please. So now we now need to do what? To import our data set. So for those of us using Jupyter Notebook and VS Code, right? So the way to import there differs with the way to import here with Google Colab, right? So for me using Google Colab, I would now need to come up with our file. I need to come up with an action button that probably help me. I love to use the action button that will help me upload my data set, right? So for me, I can say I'll come up with let's say from Google Colab. Where's the option not coming up? Okay, from Google.Colab. You see, it's already giving us option. That's one good side of we using Google Colab, right? It has its own AI. Built-in AI tool that helps us to finish up whatever we're typing. This is one thing Jupyter Notebook is not having. I think VS Code, the updated VS Code also have this, but you need to be connected to internet as well. So for Google Colab here, so we import Google.Colab, right? Import files. So I'm not using import drive. No. Why did I have to select all of this? I wanted, so if I'm using this one now, it's just like me mounting my drive. So I don't use this guy. So I'm using file, import files, right? Then I'll come down to say upload. Upload is equals to, what am I always? File upload is equals to files dot upload. What am I having? Okay. So with this options here, with this prompt, it will help me come up with an action button where I can just go to upload the file, right? Then I may now come down to say, then I'll bring in this guy. So I'll explain this guy is equals to pd, which is our pandas dot read underscore csv. So this now I just need to. So I think why share is the text? Is it CSV or Excel? It's Excel file. Dot read underscore Excel. Then I'll bring in my brackets here. Okay, thank you. Then my single quotes. Then I'll just paste in the name of the file here. I think the name of the file is called, I think, is it
people
underscore what?
Datasets.
I think I'm getting it right. So this is it, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is for those of us using Google Colab. So now for those of us making use of Jupyter Notebook or VS Code, all we just need to do is this. Let me execute this mine. Let me execute mine. So before loading up that, let's hold on. So for VS Code and Jupyter Notebook, all we just need to do is what? We say pd, right? Dot read. Let's say pd. We can choose to call it df, right? Df is equal to pd dot read excel, read underscore excel, right? Then I open a bracket. So in between this bracket, I'll bring in my R, which helps us to read R, right? Then I have to go to wherever I save this file. Let's say this is where I saved it, right? So you do a shift right click to give you an option to copy as part. See copy as part, right? So you copy as part here, then you come back to where you're writing your script, and then you paste. So to paste up the file part for you in here, shift right click, right? So to give you the option to copy as part. So you copy as part, then you paste here. So when you do this, and then it's down, then I say PD and DF, sorry. And I execute this guy. If you execute with your VS Code or your, what's it called? Jupyter Notebook, right? It will allow you load up the data set automatically. So I also want to try anybody with
We can't hear you, sir.
So I'm waiting for anybody who has
Seems your
done
mic
this.
has been
So for
muted.
those, my mic is muted. No, my mic is not muted. Probably. Uh, so my mic is not muted. Probably maybe from your side or so. So for those of us using Jupyter Notebook, we can try this. df is equals to pd.read underscore excel. It's an Excel file. If it's a CSV file, we need to introduce read underscore CSV. If it is PDF, we use read underscore PDF. If it is JSON, we use read underscore JSON. And you ensure that the file extension here has to match with what you are using. If it's Excel, this is an Excel extension, XLSX. There's another extension. I think Excel is having two extensions. There's around for XLX, right? Then if it's CSV, the extension will be .csv. It is JSON, it will be .json. It is PDF, it will be .pdf, right? So this is for those of us using Jupyter Notebook or maybe VS Code. So we can enter this guy here. So when you copy the file path, so it will copy the file path directory, the directory of that file. So whenever you save it, anyways, once you copy the file path, the file path of your own system. So where I save my differs from where you save yours, right? So that will work. Then you can execute. For those of us using Jupyter Notebook, we can execute this guy. Yeah.
We can't hear you, sir. We can't hear you. You have muted your mic.
My mic is not muted, so what about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yes, sir.
That wasn't muted. I don't really know what happened.
We stopped at where you were talking about importing the files, the data set.
Importing.
The data set.
Okay, so I have this script down here. You see where I highlighted, right? For those of us using Jupyter Notebook or VS Code, so we can use this script to load our data set. So while doing that, right, we start with our df is equals to pd.read underscore excel. So depending on the file format you are working with, if it's CSV, you use pd.read underscore CSV, right? It is Excel underscore Excel, if it is JSON underscore JSON, if it is PDF and the likes underscore that. Then the next thing is reintroducing our R in the parentheses, that's our bracket. So the R is telling Python, okay, read this file.
Okay.
Right? So we introduce our R, then I come down here, so I went to where I saved my data set, right? So I hold on my shift, then I right click to give me the option to copy the file part of it. Okay. So I have this copy as part. So you copy as part, then we come back down here. So in between the brackets after our R, we paste what we copied as part. So that's the file part of our data set. Then I came down to say df, yeah, which is what I'm going to explain, right? So I want us to just run this. This will help us load our data set. So the df we have here is this. df is a variable. Remember I'll be talking about variables, right? And constant. So our variables are containers, right? Housing something. So what I did here is this. I assigned everything that is here from this pd.read underscore excel and all that, right? To this df. That means I'm saying everything that is here should be assigned to df. So df can be any name. You can use any name of your choice, right? You can use x, y, you can use z, you can use ab, you can use b, you can use c, you can use m, you can use l, right? It's just a variable, a container that houses everything that is here. Okay. So our df now, right? When we execute this guy, we have a table that shows up. In Python, that table is called data frame. Like Excel, we have sheets, right? We have
Yes.
tables, right? We have tables, right? We have sheets. So in Python, we call them data frames.
Okay. Data frame.
Yeah, they're called data frame. So me using DF here is me just aliasing my data frame to the DF. Sorry.
Okay. Yes, understand that.
So I'm saying everything here. So this table, this sheet which we're about to work on, or which we are trying to load, should be assigned to this DF, which is our data frame. So we can have as many data frames as we can, right? But if we are aliasing them, their name should what be distinct. Are we together? So you
Yes.
can do DF1, you can use DF2, DF3, and the likes. So I take this off. I'm using Google Colab, so I'll be choosing my file from here. So what I did here is this. For those of us using Google Colab like me, I came up with this prompt saying from google.colab, right? From Google Colab, that's from this ID, import files, right? Then I went as far as what coming down to say uploaded is equals to files.upload, right? So what I'm trying to say is this now. You should come up with this option for me that will aid me towards upload file, right? So now instead of me just uploading direct, just like our VS Code and Jupyter Notebook, right? I'll then have this guy. Then I say what my df is equals to pd.read underscore excel, which is the file I want to load. Yes, sir. So the thing is this, right? It's just our data importation that differs. So just this part which I'm just explaining is what just differs. So every other thing is the same. Every other thing is the same. It's because Google Colab work with cloud, right? So it's expected you have your file stored in your Google Drive, right? Then you just work on. While at VS Code and Jupyter Notebook, your files can be stored on your system. Then you can just go copy the file paths and you work, right? So since my data set is not stored in my Google Drive, right? So I need to come up with this prompt to help me what load my data sets, right? So after this phase, every other thing is same. So I come down here to choose. So I select choose file. So this option comes up. Then I come to where I save this. So people data sets. The name has to match with what I have here. So I load this up. What is it saying? pd.read dataset Excel. Okay, I see where the error is coming from. So I didn't put the file
Yes.
path dot xlsx, right?
Yes,
Right?
sir. Yes.
Okay. So I execute again. Choose file. Sir? No, for Google Colab, single quotes. Yeah. So why is it giving me an issue? No such file or directory.
Sir, could it be that the capital letter is
Was there
capitalization?
any capital letter for the data set?
Yes, there is. The people starts with capital letter.
Okay, the people and the data is capital letter. Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir. So people. Okay.
People and the year of data. So this is one thing with Python. Python is
The
case
people, the people, the
sensitive.
people start with capital letter, and the data set has a capital letter too.
I think I've gotten that right.
Yes, yes.
It's supposed to be this.
Okay.
So this has been executed, right? So it has
Yes.
loaded. Then all I just need to do is what? So I type my DF here, right? Mind you, I assign everything. That is my data frame. I assign everything to be what? DF,
D-
right? Where I have everything here to be equals to DF, right? So
Yes.
my DF now is now everything that we have here. So if I enter my DF here and I execute this guy, my data frame now will show up.
Wow.
Where is not showing? Don't read. Who is down solution?
Yeah. Wow. Mhm.
here come up with then the brackets, they data set name. You see here? Right? So we all have our data set. So there is one thing when we're loading up our data set, we can do our head, we can do our tail. So what our head does is this. Our head, we only display the first 5 rows, while our tail will only display the last 5 rows. Yours has work. Just copy what I have here. Right? It's the same name, the same data set name we're working with. So the head displays the first 5 rows, while the tail displays the last 5 rows. So one thing with Python is this. One thing with Python is this. Its index starts from 0. So when it's counting, right? So instead of us counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down to 10, it's going to start counting from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the same as 10, right? So that's why we have our index number here. So if we all notice, we get to this index here, starting from 0 down to the last, right? So let's say now we want to just visualize just the first 5 records. Instead of we having all of this, that we have to be scrolling down to the last. So if you have a million records, that's how you have to be scrolling, probably, but most of the time to give you the first 5 and the last 5. Then what is in between will be omitted when you have too many records, right? So for this, we can say df. Mind you, this is what our data frame, right? We assign everything data set to df. So this our data frame is now df. So if I say df dot head, right, and I do open and close a parenthesis here, right? Whatever number I choose to put in between these parameters, in between the parameter, whatever number I put there is what we display. Was if I say maybe I choose to enter 10, yeah, df dot head 10, right? Let's execute this guy first. Let's see what we have. It will give us just the first 10 records. Notice now we have from 0 to 9, which is the first 10, right? But if I choose to come down here and I say just df dot head without putting anything in the parameter, right? And I execute this guy, it will give us just the first 5 as a default. So let's say you want to just visualize maybe the first 100. You can just say df dot head, then the parameter, you enter the specific numbers of rows you want to see, right? Likewise for our tail, df dot tail, right? Then I open and close. Executing this guy to give me just the last 5 records that we're having. So this data set is actually housing just 50 records, 0 to 49, that's 50, right? So are we clear on this? This just we importing our data. Yes, sir. Still yet? DF is not fine. Is it DF before? Have you explained your experience? Right? Now, to look at this data set which we have here, right? We notice a lot of what anomalies, right? So you can detect that. A lot of anomalies. So the data actually needs to be clean for us to what proceed with our manipulation or our analysis, right? So if we look at it now, our data set has a lot of anomalies. We need to clean this data set. We need to do some data wrangling here. So we'll be starting with sorry. So we'll be starting with doing what? Standardizing our column. If you check our name, right? Our name here, we have first name, we have Christine is a small letter, Williamson is in standard case sensitivity, Shauna and the rest, they have Peter all in caps. They are not consistent, right? So for us to work on this guy here, to have a consistent text format or maybe your case sensitivity, right? For Excel, we use proper case, right? We have uppercase, we have lowercase, and then we have proper case on Excel. So working with Python, we have same uppercase, lowercase, then we have title. Are we getting this? So our title is now our proper case using Python, right? So for us to do that now, let's just go through this guy. So we'll be doing them column by column, like one column after the other, right? So all we just need to do is to check out the columns that we need to work on. We have first name, we have last name here, right? Which other one again? We have country, right? Then we have state, we have occupation, right? We need to standardize all of this, right? Yours has worked. It has worked. You didn't call on my attention. So we need to be careful and mindful of syntax we are using while working. Right? So if your syntax is not properly aligned, you won't actually get your results. It's work now, right? So we can go on, right? So we say we're doing first name, last name, country, state, and occupation. We're converting all of them to proper case, to title case, right? Whereby the first character will be in caps, while the rest will be in lowercase. Huh? No, title. Uppercase is to convert all of them to be uppercase, right? While lowercase is to convert all of them to be lowercase. While title, we convert just the first character to be uppercase, while the rest will be lowercase, just the way you need to write your name, right? The first letter on your name is what caps, right? So that's what we'll be doing here for this data. So we move down to say, we'll need to call on our data, right? So bring in our df here. So now say our df is what? Let me put a comment. Let's say we're going to call this let's say converting. What happened? So our hash sign is used to enter comments, right? For those of us using VS Code and the likes, so we can just use this to enter our comments. So hashtag, so it will execute, so just a comment, right? Converting so what I'm going to, because they are much, converting columns, let's say columns to title, or let's say title, let's use title slash proper case. For those of us who are used with Excel, proper case sensitivity, right? So we have this. So this was a comment. So while executing, this won't be executed. So if you're using VS Code or Jupyter Notebook, you can use these guys to just enter your comment. While if you're using Google Colab, it provides option for text. So if I just check on text here, I can type in my text here, right? So while you're executing, to see it as what? As a comment. So no need for this. Let me just take this since I have that one up. So I have this guy here. Then the next is me entering what? My script for converting first name, last name. So I need to be seeing the name here because the name needs to tally with what I'm entering. So we say column. So columns here underscore. So this one is just a variable name. Let's say column to title. Let me use this columns to title. Right? So this is just a variable name, right? Column to title. You can use any name that you can remember, just like your PD and the DF. Any name you can use, right? Is equals to, I open a square bracket. I think this is my square bracket. No. Okay. So I open a square bracket. Then I need to now introduce all of these guys. Yeah. Where is it? So I'll introduce first name, first space name, right? The case sensitive needs to tally, comma, last name. Last name, right? Comma, which other one again? Huh? No, we're not working on gender. Country, yeah. Country, comma,
Eight.
then state, right? So I think which other one again? Then occupation,
Occupation.
comma, occupation,
Mm.
right? I think these are all right. Then I can come down to say uh, for columns, yeah, COL. It's see these are what for column, yeah, will now be no, we're not working on gender. I think they're just one, two, three, four, five, six. They're just six. So for columns here, in column to title, for columns in column to title, which we enter, right? So for column in column to title, then we bring in our column. This has already let me enter everything already. So for column, oh sorry, not on, it's supposed to be in. For columns in column to title, right? Then let me just finish up. Then I'll say df. So now we cannot choose to come with a new data frame. So whatever I choose to enter here is also a variable, a container. So me now saying, okay, let's say df1. Remember our df is the normal data set which you have at the top, the unclean one. So I want to still keep our unclean one, which is the df. So I'm now coming here with a new data frame called df1. Right, so I now say df1, then I open my square bracket again, then I'll bring in column. df1 column, that's the new table, the new data frame which I'm coming up with, right? Is equals to, where is it? Is equals to df where's my semicolon? Okay, df column col dot str. So str is for string dot str dot title dot str dot title. Then open and close this guy here. I think I'm trying to check this. I don't want to tamper with this old one, so that's why I'm using df1 here. So let me just copy what I have here to df1. So let's say df1. So we can still come back to reference our unclean data. So df1 is equals to df dot copy. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm good. Yeah. So I don't know why this is underlined here. So what I did here is this. We have this unclean one here, so I still want us to come back to reference it. So if I should just use all of them like that, and I update, whenever I'm calling on my df, it will only give me the updated data frame, the one that I've cleaned. But I still want us to have the unclean one, which is this old one here. Then we just work with a different data frame. That's why I came up with this df1 equals to df dot copy. So what I did here is this. This is our df. So copy this data frame and save it into df1. So everything I will be working with now will be df1. So all my work now will just be df1. So this one will just be df. So I don't overwrite this one. So I just copy them to df1. So just move on, right? And let me just put a, I think, let me put, you say? This one that I have here, this calls to title, is a variable. You can use any name. Okay, you can choose to call this one maybe, depending on what you can relate with, right? But whatever name you're using here is the same name you have to bring in here. So a variable name. So we are assigning all of this into a container. So let me explain this quickly. Let me move my picture. Right? So after copying this guy into data frame 1, right? So now I have columns to title. So this is just a variable. So you can use any name here, right? So what I did here is this is me working with all of these guys anytime. If I didn't put anything here and I just put to enter this, when I come down here, I'll still to retype everything here. So I choose to assign everything that I have here into our column to title. So you can choose to use any name. You can choose to call this one maybe clean column, right? So all of this, okay, clean column to title or column to profile case, right? Any name of your choice here. So you assign everything here into this. But mind you, when you are working with variables, you're giving a new variable name, right? You don't use space. Because if you use space, let's say now I use call space to then space title, right? It only assign everything here to title. It will make this one. But since I want to still use the same name, so anytime I want to reference, I can fall back to this same name. That's why I use this underscore. So they can be together. Right? So we assign all of this to this guy. Then I say for column. That's for all the columns we have in the data frame, right? For columns in column to title. So the column to title that we have is what? First name, last name, country, state, and occupation. So for all these columns in this, right? Do this for us. So this is where the main work now comes in. So df1, now I already assigned it to df1. That's a df1 column. So that's data frame column, right? Is equals to df column dot string dot title. Then now, every time we have to convert our them to what title, whereby instead of we having caps here, then lowercase. So this one will be caps, every other thing will be lowercase. This will be caps, every other thing will be lowercase. For this, and this. That's all the columns we have here. So you get this. So now we can choose to what?
Whenever you put string there, it will allow you to.
Whenever I put. Okay, the string. Yeah, we're working with a string data type, right? Remember how when we talk about data type, different types of data type last week? So strings house what? Just alphabets and the likes, right? So what we're working with here are strings, the alphabets. So for it to convert, it has to be a string, right? So now, the first character. Okay, let's execute this guy first. So, okay, it has been executed, right? So now let me call on df. Now we're no longer working with df. Our df now is the unclean data. So now let's call on our what? df1. df1 here. Then I execute my df1. Let's wait. Sorry, let me just do head. I don't know why. I don't like having too many records of scrolling. df.head. Yeah. So now if you notice now, our name here, they've been clean and standardized. Even down to country, down to state and occupation. Right? So this is one step on doing this. Sorry, please, I need to check. Okay.
So the call is about to end because it's
Yes, yes.
nine.
So I'm sharing a new link now. So I just say let me come to check. So I'll be sharing a new link so we can join on the new link. Okay. Okay. So I think we can proceed. Wait for them to probably join. There we go. Okay. So I believe we are good with this, right? So now we can do this on our own, right? Are we good? Huh?
Yes, yes, you can follow up now. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So now the next we want to clean is our gender column. Our
Excuse sir,
gender
before you
column.
proceed, sir.
You said?
I said before you proceed, sir. That last script is there
Last what?
the last script we used to clean to change the text to proper or title case.
Title. Yeah, this is it. You can see that, right?
Okay, so is there any way we can just the class is recorded? I believe the class is recorded. Can we upload this last script now?
I didn't get you.
Now is the class recorded?
Yes, yes, it's being recorded.
Okay, so that we can go back to it because it's much for us to just memorize actually this morning. So
Yes, sir.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Why string title? That means always the capital letter first, then
Then, yeah, yes, that's for. But if you want to do uppercase, all you just need to do is to change this title to uppercase. Let's try that here. So this title,
everything will work. Yes.
let's call it upper, right? Let's execute. Uh, you see everything here is uppercase, right? So if you want lowercase, all you just need to do is to change this guy to lower. You execute, right? So we have everything lowercase. But for our names and states, we know they are all meant to be in proper case, like title, and also occupation and the likes, to make our work look fine. So we're using title. So we're leaving this way. So are we good? Yeah, right. So the next I want us to do is gender. I want us to work on our gender. So our gender here, if you notice, we have male, female, F, probably, and also M for male. Let's just get the unique value. For us to now see the unique value we have on that column here, for our gender here, so we'll bring in, I'll change this to DF1, right? Let's say DF1. DF1, then open this I'm always here. I got it now. So my square bracket. So df1, is it gender, right? Okay, I just hope the spelling is cap like this now. Yeah, correct. So gender dot unique dot unique. So doing this one like this dot unique, and then open and close. This helps us to get just the unique values that we have on our gender column. So I execute this guy here. We now see all the unique values we have, right? The array. We have female, we have male, we have F, we have M. So now while cleaning this guy up, now we need to convert all our F to be female. I need to convert all our M to be what? Male, right? So how do we do that? We do our replacement, right? So sometimes you just go find a replace and all that, right? So for this here now, let's call this standardizing gender column. Let's say standardizing gender column. Gender column, right? So we now need to come up with what is it again? DF. We are working with DF1. DF1, right? Is equals. Do I need to do that? No. Let's continue. DF1 gender. I don't know if this is correct. This one is DF1 gender. Right? Is equals to, we now need to bring in, this way we now need to bring in our mapping. We now need to strip, then we'll map. Right? So that's what I'm trying to say by strip and mapping. We'll strip out what we want, then we'll map to what we want. So we'll say df1 gender is equals to df1, right? The same gender we still need to bring in again. df1 gender, right? Dot string dot strip. This is we now need to bring in our strip, right? We open and close, right? Dot upper. The string dot upper, right? No, not to be in uppercase. So the female F and the male M, they're all in uppercase. So we are stripping out all the F and the M. They will now map them to male. So strip out all of this, right? Dot map. Yeah. Then we open a parenthesis. Yeah. Then a curly bracket. So if you notice, even before this, it gave us an option. Let me just, then let's open a parenthesis here. So if you notice here, it was showing, it doesn't stay. Let me open again. Right? So see now we now have the options here. That is working with Google Colab. Male M, female F, and so just give you option on what you need to map, right? So what we are mapping here now, we are mapping M to male, we're mapping F to female. Then to the case on that column, maybe they tend to enter female in uppercase. Also map it to what? Female in title case. They tend to enter maybe male in uppercase. Also map it to male in title case. That's how to come up with upper, strip upper. So I don't want us to have maybe in the case whereby we finish doing our stripping and mapping, right? Sometimes you'll be working with a million record, right? Sometimes they may tend to just enter the gender by just maybe using just caps or maybe lowercase, right? Or maybe using title, so it will mix. Since we've already cleaned first name, last name, and the rest, but we didn't tamper with we didn't do a title case for gender, right? So I choose to come up with all of this while doing my stripping. So now we now need to continue our mapping. So I enter all of this, I open my curly brackets in this, right? So I now do our M, right? Maybe I still see my screen, and let me raise it up. So see, even before going up, it's giving us the same option, but we enter what we need to enter. Okay. Our M, we close our single quote, then we map by using our column. That's for mapping, right? They'll bring in our mail in there, right? They'll come down to the next one. Next one now will now be for what? I think I'm missing. Okay, it's already giving me comma. Yeah, okay, comma, enter. Then let's finish out the mail. Let's have the mails in caps. Should in case there is any on that column, right? Mail in caps. I close. Map it to what? Same mail. Mail like this, right? Then I close. Okay, this is fine. Comma. Then we do for our female. Let's start with our F. Female, comma. Then the last one will be maybe a female should in case there's caps. Sorry. Right? Yeah, it's maybe possible as well. But once you just check, if you see all those errors, you just flag them up. Then I bring in female. This is what we want to have there, right? I think, yeah, that's all. Then now I come down to close my brackets, which I have down here. I'll close my curly bracket and also close my bracket. Then let's do df1 dot head. Then we execute this guy. What's happening? Strip dot. Sorry, I need to bring in my uppercase needs to be in string as well. str dot. Yeah, sorry. So we wait. Okay. So now we have this looking this way. So now our what's called gender column. Now we now have female, male, female, male. So if we choose to check for unique value as well, we only have just male and female. Let me copy this guy. I don't want to retype because of time. And then I paste here. Let's execute this guy. So now our unique value now is just female and male. Right? So do we get this? It's looking strange to us. Yeah, string dot upper. Yeah, because our upper case, just like our title case and our lower case, they all need to be in string. So string, that's str for string dot upper. It's work now. Let me take it up so you see the syntax. You can see it. It's working now, right? So do you have a question on this? These are just little data cleaning stuff that we need to do. Mind you, after today, we'll be having a take home. Since we'll be meeting next week Wednesday, it's very long and far. Sorry, next week Saturday. No, it's Saturday. Sorry, I wanted to say Saturday. So I missed it. I have a different engagement that Wednesday. So we'll have something that we'll work on before that.
Hello,
So yeah, we'll
sir.
still work on
Good
it. We
afternoon,
don't
sir.
finish gender. Hello?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Please, sir, I don't understand.
Okay, so which side were you lost so we can
Okay, when you were trying to get us from the coding, from that VA, from calling the function.
for this one?
Yes, this particular.
Okay. So what I did here is this. Initially we had our DF, which is our data frame, right? Then I said that our DF is our unclean data, so I don't touch temper. Maybe in the course of the class, we may want to go back to it. So who overwrites? So I came with a data frame 1, which is for our clean data, right? And the data we are working on, we're cleaning over time. Sorry. So now, at this point, we're working on our gender column. So under our gender column, we're having some anomalies where we have F, M, male and female and the likes. So now I want to standardize that column to only house just female and male, right? So what we then need to do is this. Working with Python, we now need to extract what we need to map out. So we strip them off from that column. They will now map them to the right word we want. So that's why I came up with this function where I have our data frame 1 gender. So this gender in that square bracket is the name of the column. Mind you, you can enter any column here. This is also a variable. But if we choose to, mind you, we're working with our data frame 1, right? If I choose to change this column from gender, right, and I enter a different name here, what it will do is this. It will create a new column at the end of the data frame. Then on that new column at the end of that data frame, that's where it will now store the clean gender. So we will now still have the old one, which we're having our F and all that. They will now have a new one. So for us to maintain this, we now need to enter the same column name here. So that's why we have our data frame 1, which is this, the same column name called gender, the same column name we have in here, gender. So what we're trying to do is this. This function we have in here, if you perform all of this function, right, store and save it in this column here called gender in data frame 1, which we already have a column called gender in data frame 1. But you can choose to go and enter a new column here, a new name here. So whatever name you choose to enter here, it will automatically create a new column for you. What it will do is this. It will search through the data frame 1 and look for a column called gender in data frame 1. If there is no column called gender in data frame 1, it will create a new column for you called gender. But if there is a column called gender, it will save and store all your output in that column. Let's say, for instance, here, I don't temper our work, but maybe as we go on, we'll still get there. Let's say, for instance, here, I choose to save this as, let's say I use genders, I add S here. It will search for gender in this data frame. If there's no genders here in this data frame, it will create a new column here. It will add a new column here called gender. And it will now store all these values, the clean ones here. I wish I will save it here. So that's why the name here needs to start with the name you have here and also the name here. So we are stripping out all the records we have here, right? Mark them to what? All of these outputs and save them to these columns. So see when we are mapping, we are bringing out our stuff, we are mapping and we are not saving to this. So if you use a different name here, it will search for the name here. If you not see it, you just create a new one for you. So this tool needs to tally according to the name that is on the data from here. So do you get this?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. So now, which one are we going to work on? We work on all this. We worked on gender. We now have our age. We have a lot of anomalies under our age. So in the same way, we did this, what we call gender, the same way we are going to work on our age column. So for us to do that, I believe you can see my screen. Let me take it up. So we now need to introduce our what? Our DF, right? Our data frame. Let's say, what I'm going to call this? Let's say we want to convert those names, then those words, all these words, want to convert the words to numbers. So let's say we're mapping words to numbers, mapping age words to numbers. Let's use that. Okay, let's say mapping age words, right, to numbers. Sorry, right? So we have this way. So what we need to do now, we can choose to come up with, mind you, when we started, we gave it a different name, right? So now we can choose to come up with a different name too, that we need to house all of these guys into that container. So wow. So it's almost time for prayer, right? So let's just wrap this guy up for those of us going for prayer. So now let's call this, since we're mapping words to number, let's call it number, or let's say NUM, num, right? Number is equals to, no, we will be using what square bracket, right? So when you want to house numerous stuff in different lines, in multiple lines, so you house them in what, a curly bracket. When you want to house different records, different values, right, in numerous record, row stands for record, in different lines, you house them all in a curly bracket. But if everything is on a single line, you house them in square bracket, right? So now we have too many stuff. Before going on, I think let's do something. Let's say, let me add a code line. So I want us to just see the unique stuff we have in the age column, so we'll know how we do our mapping and the likes. So say df one, right? So it's already giving us the option already. df1 age dot unique. So let's execute this, guys. So we have 70, we have 56, we have 40, 30, 40. So it's just the words we are concerned about. So the 70, 40, 30, 50, 80, 20, 60. That's what we are converting to numbers, right? So let's continue our work here. So I introduce our curly bracket here, right? Then in a single quote, let's start with the first one. The first one here is what? 70. So I need to be careful of the case sensitivity. 70 like this, right? Right? Yes, 70. Then I'll do a mapping to 70, number 70. So for our integers don't need to be in a quote. We don't write of integers. But for strings, you need to put them in a quote. That's why they call the quote a string quote. Right? Comma. The next one is, which other one again? It's 40. So say FO 40, yeah, right? We map our 40 to number 40, comma. The next is 30. 30, right? I want to be following them from the arrays that we have. So we'll make mistake by omitting one. So 30 will map to 30, comma. Then we have 50. 50, right? Yes. So we map 50 to 50. Then we have 80. 80, we map 80 to 80. Sorry. Then which other one again? We have 80. Then we have 20. 20. 20. So I'm mapping 20 to 20, then 60. Comma, then 60. You said?
Anymore, sir. You can't see your screen anymore.
You cannot see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, a minute, please.
I think it's your network.
Okay. We map our 60 to 60. Right, so this is the last one, so we just pause. Then okay. I think it should be your network also.
It is your network.
But okay, I will stop, then I will share again. I'll stop resharing, so I will share again. So I believe you can see my screen now, right? Confirm if you can see my screen. Okay, so we can proceed.
Following these numbers are not like different numbers.
So you have to follow them one after the other. Yes, that's why it's advisable as a data practitioner when you are kind of data entry, you ensure data validation practices kept. I thought, but you tend to validate, like let's say now, while entering this stuff, the column that's supposed to house this age, you validate that column to only house just numbers. Nobody will be able to enter words. If you try to enter words, it just give you an error prompt, right? So that's why, so in times like this, you just have to go through this, the stress of what cleaning this guy up. So we come up with this. The next is, let me check through 70. Okay, so this is fine. I like having my store looking a bit clean, like this. Okay, so now let's move on to we now having where our standardization now comes in. Let me call this. Let me call this. Where's my standardization? So we're standardizing the column now. But let's say standardize age column. Right? So we've mapped them already. So we're done with our mapping. The next thing is what we're standardizing it. So all of this should go to where they're supposed to be and all that. So we start with we introduce our df1, right? So now our df1 age, our column needs to come in. I think this is my square bracket. Where is it? Yes. df1 age. Oh, sorry, the name needs to tell you what we have. I think it's cap df1 age, right? Is equals to. So is equals to. So now bring in our df1. Just similar to what we did, df1, then I bring in our age again as well. df1 age, right? Then dot, sorry, dot. So this way we now need to be very careful. This is where our syntax needs to work. So if you get it wrong here, whatever mapping you've done is waste. Right? So say our age dot apply. Everybody have their own way of doing theirs. You can just do replace. You can just choose to do age dot what replace, right? It will replace. But me, I want to standardize this column, right? So I now choose to come up with what? Apply. Then I'll put a bracket. Then I'll bring you what? Lambda. Apply lambda x map. Now bring in my norm dot age. Norm dot get x if x in norm else. No, not working this. Dot get, open this bracket, then I'll bring in my string x. So this is a lot of script you are writing here. Dot limit. I'm just trying to be careful. Dot lower comma. I'm just trying to be careful with the syntax here. How many brackets? I think 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Then we say df, let me give a space. df1, I bring in my age again. Is equals to pd dot to numeric to. So what I'm trying to do, I want to convert everything to numeric. Let's go df age. Yeah, this works. Let's go df age. What is happening? df1 under age, comma. No, I'm just trying to be conscious of this, my age. Okay, I didn't close this. This one masala with this. So age, age, numeric, age. And of course. Okay. So what I'm just trying to do here, I want to ensure that all the value we have in that column should be what? Numbers. It's like we're validating that column to be just numbers, right? So I'm just a bit kind of careful with the syntax here. Okay, let me just put in a note here, a comment. This is just to ensure all our numbers. Yeah, equals to course. Ensure all values are numbers here. So that's what we're just trying to do here. So I'll bring in my df1 dot head. So when we execute this guy here, we wait for this to load. So it helps us convert all the alphabets we have in there to numbers.
Okay, so we can really use this class to the plus minus sign.
Using what? Everything is here. So the 70, what we did here, at first, we did our mapping here. Let me just put a comment here. Mapping words to number. Let us say words. Right? So what we did here, we mapped all these words to numbers. Just like for the other one, gender, right? So after mapping, then we came down to standardize the column. So after standardizing the column, so the data validation we're talking about, so I wanted to validate this. So that's why I came up with this guy. To validate, to ensure that whatever we have in here will be what? Numeric, will be numbers. So whatever you have on that column, convert it to numbers, so it should be strictly numbers. So words cannot be entered under this age column. So to avoid stuff like this, right, to repeat itself. So that's what I have in here, ensure that I can this, okay, to ensure all values are what numbers. Then we execute. Then we have our output as this, where all our age happens to be what? So this is it for this. If you have questions, please we can ask. So just check your syntax. Let me take it off. Check your script. Sorry, it's looking strange, right? Somehow.
The lambda you put there, maybe writing or writing more.
Sir?
Lambda or
Lambda. No, you write it. No, it's okay. That no, this one is written. It's text. You type it. Yeah, lambda. Yeah. So it allows us to use numbers here.
and that yes.
Lambda x num by saying num right dot get, then our string x dot lower replace. You can use replace, but if you replace, right, you're not validating the code into the numbers. So there's every tendency of you still having alphabet, words, strings being entered. So now what we're trying to do, we're trying to ensure that, okay, we're standardizing the column, all strings, yes, right? Convert everything to the numbers, so it should only allow just numeric. So if you notice, outcome with the number of get string, dot lower, and the rest, right? So all of that. Then feed it to numeric. So PDF, that's H column. So the H column converts the H column to numbers, to numeric. That's why we're using this PD. Remember, our PD is what? Is pandas, right? And this is for data manipulation. So now we're trying to manipulate this H column to only accept just numbers, convert everything to numbers. So that's why this one changing. And we execute, and this is it for this. Yeah, just like you calling out the X values, what you have there. But if you want to just go as easy as, okay, you just want to do a fast work, just do your mapping, then you replace. Like what you said, you can replace it to work. Right? But one practice that people want to check after you when you're working is how you tend to mine data integrity. So if you're doing this, if you're doing just find that you just die or replace, you replace all of these numbers, right? In the future, sir? I think when I was doing that, I started with the replace before I chose to change to this. So once you just map, you have entered this you just see replace. Error is equals to course. Yes. So all this stuff, you enter in yourself. So you don't type in it, you're the data person. But if you're using Google Colab, sometimes it gives you, that's a inbuilt AI system that helps you give you options. So it only suggests for you, but you also need to know what you're doing. So if you want to follow the own, sometimes you can just like GPS that is suggesting road to us. You now follow the road, you go and see yourself in Sambisa. But this road says we should be going left, left, left. Right? So that's one thing with AI. AI will give you, it will suggest for you, but yeah. So I always advise people sometimes to use Google Colab for suggestion. Just still give you issue.
Yes. After this, you come up with this much.
That's the view for love. So this is why you tend to use this and widely used for data science because of its diversity, right? But the whole programming language, most programming language now, they're not really that case sensitive and all that. The Python is case sensitive and as well, the syntax, if you miss one thing, you'll be having error. It will give you your output. So are we good on this? So I can give us a data set to work with, right, over the week for us to clean. I will actually give us something similar to stuff like this, right? So thank you all for your time and thank you all for showing up. So we'll be wrapping up this year today. Those who are going for prayers will go for prayers. They will meet on Saturday to proceed. Yes, sir. Yeah, you save automatically. It's saving to cloud. That will see my name. So everybody just finish. Once you finish, it saves automatically. So the only thing I don't need to do is to change the title. So as it's saving with this name. Let me change the name. So you can just come down here. Let me call this. What's the name of the data set again? You said? I didn't hear you. Yeah. It's having an extension. Yeah, you can choose to add the extension. It's because it's just the default name. So changing this to let's say people data. So this one will be saved to my Google Drive. That's all. So one thing with Google you can share as well. I can share with all of us here. I will be working on the same project. So as we go advanced, we get from our share here. I just need to do is come down to share. Then you just need to add up the email address. Just add their email address. You can choose to make them editor, viewer, or commenter. But maybe you're working on a project and they're like, okay, we want to be seeing the progress of your work. But choose to make them an editor. A viewer. You made a viewer so they'll be seeing, but they can't tamper with your work. But if you're collaborating with someone, you can make the guy also an editor. Maybe you be the owner, the person an editor. So both of you can be working on that project, collaborating. That's one advantage of this, and that's why I love collab. So your work, maybe you forgot your system here, and maybe you're in Lagos, and you need to continue work. All you just need to do is to enter your email address, and you just continue your work. But if you are using Jupyter Notebook, either you go with your flash drive or your hard drive, if you not your system, that's just you have to start from scratch. So this is just the advantage of this one. So thank you once again for your time.